Hello, my friends. Today I want to tell you a real story. Not a fairy tale, not a movie story. A real-life story of a man who had nothing, but still became a legend. This is the story of Sylvester Stallone, the man who created Rocky and Rambo. But before he became famous, his life was very hard. Sylvester Stallone was born in 1946 in New York, USA. When he was born, something went wrong. Doctors used a tool to pull him out. That tool damaged a nerve in his face. Because of that, part of his face became weak. His mouth looked different. His speech was not clear. People laughed at him. Kids in school made fun of him. Some teachers thought he was slow. He felt lonely. He felt different. And when you're a child, that hurts a lot. Imagine being small, try to talk to your friends, but everyone laughs at the way you speak. That was Stallone's daily life. His parents also fought a lot. There was anger and shouting at home. When he was only 9 years old, his parents got divorced. After that, he moved from one school to another. More than 10 schools. It was hard to make friends. He felt unwanted. He was not good at studies. He failed many classes. Sometimes, he felt like nobody believed in him. Teachers called him slow. Kids made fun of him. Even strangers sometimes laughed at his face. Life felt unfair, and many people would give up. But Stallone had one thing that kept him going, a small dream inside his heart. He wanted to be a movie star. He loved watching films, especially boxing movies. When he watched a boxer fight, he didn't just see punches. He saw courage. He saw heart. He saw someone fighting against the odds. Sometimes he stood in front of a mirror and acted like he was the hero in the movie. He practiced moving like a boxer. He practiced showing emotions. Even if people laughed at him, he kept trying. He never gave up. That small act of courage was building his future. Later, he went to college and studied acting. He practiced every day. He knew his voice was different and his face looked strange. So he learned to use his body, his eyes, and his emotions to express himself. He learned that even if his words were not perfect, his actions could speak louder. After college, he moved to New York City. That is where his real struggle began. He had no money, no job, no big contacts. Life in the city was tough. Every day was a fight to survive. He went to many auditions. Directors told him, "You can't act. Your face looks strange. Your voice is weird." He heard no again and again. Every rejection hurt, but he refused to give up. He was so poor that sometimes he slept in bus stations. Sometimes he had no food. He had only one friend, his dog. That dog was his only comfort in a world that seemed against him. But one day, he had no money left. He could not even buy food for his dog. With tears in his eyes, he sold his dog for $40 outside a small store. Imagine that pain. Losing your best friend because life is too hard. He walked away crying. That was the lowest moment of his life. But something inside him refused to die. His dream, his hope, his fire, they were still alive. One night, he watched a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. Everyone thought Wepner would lose fast. But Wepner kept fighting. He fell down, he got up, he got hurt, but he never stopped. That fight touched Stallone's heart. He rushed home and started writing. He wrote for 3 days straight. No sleep, no break, just writing. After 72 hours, he finished a script. It was the story of a small, unknown boxer who gets one chance to fight the world champion. A story of courage, heart, and never giving up. He called it Rocky. That story was not just about a boxer. It was about him. It was about hope. It was about believing in yourself, even when everyone says no. And that script was about to change his life forever. After writing the script of Rocky, Stallone still had a long way to go. He believed in his story, but the movie studios did not. They said, "Your story is good. We will buy it. But you cannot act as Rocky." They offered him $125,000. But Stallone refused. He said, "This story is about me. I must play Rocky." The studios were shocked. How could a poor, unknown actor refuse such a big offer? But Stallone knew one thing. Some things are bigger than money. Dreams are priceless. They offered him more money, $300,000, but he still said no. Finally, one studio agreed, but they could only give him a small budget. They said, "We will make the movie, and you can act. But don't expect a lot of money." Stallone said, "Yes, let's do it." Now, he had some money, just enough to start filming. But there was one problem. His dog, Butkus, the only friend who had stayed by him, was gone. Stallone had sold him because he had no money to feed him. Every day, Stallone thought about him. He went back to the same store and asked the man who bought Butkus, "Please, I want my dog back." At first, the man said no. Stallone begged. After a while, the man agreed, but for $15,000. Stallone gave him the money and finally held Butkus again. He cried. It was a reunion full of love. Butkus even appeared in the Rocky movie. His real dog, his real struggle, became part of the film. Filming began. Life was still tough. The budget was very low. They could not hire many actors or expensive cameras. Stallone wore old clothes. He trained in the cold streets. Sometimes he ran through garbage to make it real. Every day, he pushed himself. He wanted the world to feel the struggle, the pain, the hope. He trained like a real boxer, running, lifting, boxing. He lived the role, not just acted. There's a famous scene where Rocky runs up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum. People think it was shot perfectly with many takes. But no, they had no budget for multiple cameras or a big crew. A friend held a camera and ran behind him. One shot. That's it. Real, raw, powerful. That moment became iconic. Finally, Rocky was released in 1976. No one expected much. It was a small movie with a poor, unknown actor, a tiny budget, and no stars. But soon, something magical happened. People loved it. They cried. They cheered. They told friends. Word spread. The movie became a hit. From $1 million budget, it earned over $225 million worldwide. It was nominated for 10 Oscars and won 3, including Best Picture. Stallone went from being unknown to a global star almost overnight. From sleeping in bus stations to walking red carpets, from selling his dog to holding an Oscar, everything changed. But even after success, Stallone didn't forget his lessons. He knew life is not always easy. He kept working hard. He wrote Rocky II, acted, directed, and trained. People loved the underdog boxer. Rocky was more than a movie. It was hope for everyone who felt small or rejected. After Rocky, Stallone took another risk. He made First Blood, introducing John Rambo. A soldier, strong, quiet, and full of pain. The movie showed how war hurts minds, not just bodies. Rambo became an icon. Stallone showed that heroes can be human too. Through the late 1970s and 1980s, Stallone became one of the biggest stars in the world. Rocky sequels, Rambo movies, action films. He was unstoppable. But life had challenges too. Some movies failed in the 1990s. Critics said he was finished. Fans moved on. People laughed at him, made memes, said he was old. But Stallone never stopped. Real fighters don't quit when they fail. They quit when they are done. In 2006, at age 60, he made Rocky Balboa. Everyone said, "You are too old." But Stallone believed age doesn't matter. The fight inside matters. The movie was a huge success. Fans old and new loved it. Stallone proved he could come back stronger. Later, he made The Expendables, bringing old action stars together. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Jet Li, Jason Statham. People loved it. It reminded the world of real, classic action heroes. Even today, Stallone trains, writes, and works. He never stops. He says, the fight never ends. It just changes shape. Through Rocky, Rambo, and all his movies, Stallone taught millions. Never give up. Believe in yourself. Use pain as fuel. One punch, one effort, one dream can change everything. Even after all his success, Stallone never forgot his struggles. He knew fame and money are temporary. What matters is your heart and courage. Stallone has been married 3 times. His current wife is Jennifer Flavin, a former model. They married in 1997 and have 3 daughters, Sophia, Searle, and Scarlett. He calls them his greatest treasures. At home, he is not Rocky or Rambo. He is just Dad. He teaches them about life, respect, and working hard. He often says, don't depend on fame. Build your strength inside. But even today, Stallone carries pain in his heart. His first son, Sage Stallone, passed away in 2012. Losing him changed everything. Stallone said, "There is no pain like losing a child." He used that pain to love deeper and to become a better father and mentor. Stallone is not just a fighter on screen. He is a thinker. He shares lessons from his life. About pain, he says, "Pain is fuel. Use it." About rejection, he says, "I was rejected over 1,000 times. If I had listened to them, I wouldn't exist today." About success, he says, "Money comes, fame comes, but what stays is your spirit. Make it strong." About fear, he says, "Everyone is scared. Courage is moving forward even when you shake." Even in his late 70s, Stallone trains every day. He wakes up early, works out, writes scripts, and keeps pushing himself. He says the fight never ends. It just changes shape. Today, Stallone is one of the richest and most respected men in Hollywood. His net worth is over $400 million. He owns homes, cars, art, and a business called Balboa Productions. He has health and fitness brands too. But he never forgets the day he had only $16 in his bank. He keeps a photo of his dog, Butkus, as a reminder of where he came from. Stallone is also a painter. His art is emotional, abstract, and full of life experiences. He expresses pain, joy, and peace through painting. Even now, he spends time reading, writing poetry, and learning. He never stops creating. The biggest gift Stallone gave the world is hope. His life story, Rocky, and Rambo teach millions. It doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. You can still rise. Millions of people around the world found strength in Rocky. Athletes, students, singers, and young dreamers all saw themselves in him. They learned one thing: one punch, one effort, one dream can change your life. Stallone always tells young people, "Your story is unique. Don't compare yourself. Keep showing up." He teaches that perfection is not needed. Fame is not needed. You only need belief in yourself. Even at the age of 75 plus, Stallone thinks about life and death. He says, "One day I will be gone, but Rocky will stay. And if Rocky stays, hope stays." He fears not wasting life more than anything. He wants people to live with purpose. What made Stallone a legend? Not his muscles, not his movies, not his money. It was his heart. He was rejected 1,000 times, laughed at, told he was too old, too weak, too strange, but he never gave up. He turned pain into power, failure into fire, and loneliness into legacy. That is what legends do. Here are some lessons from his life. Never sell your dream. Your dream is priceless. Pain is fuel. Let it build you. Failure will happen. Keep swinging. The next punch might change everything. Your weaknesses can become your strengths. Stallone's face, voice, and struggles became his identity. You don't need 100 people to believe in you. You just need one you. Imagine a man sitting alone in a dark theater watching Rocky for the first time. The music starts, the crowd cheers, and he smiles. That man is Stallone. He made it because he never left the fight. If life feels hard for you now, remember Stallone. You don't need perfect English, perfect looks, or a perfect life to succeed. You need courage, heart, and refusal to quit. Now it's your story. What will you fight for? What will you become? Stallone gave the world more than movies. He gave a hope, strength, and belief. And now it's your turn. Fight for your dreams. Never stop learning. Never stop dreaming. Never stop showing up. Your life can be your masterpiece. And one good punch, one effort, one moment can still change everything.